Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 12 of the Build a Website from Scratch tutorial series, and moving on from the last one, I think at this stage it's probably time to start adding in the content for the remainder of the site. So I know earlier on we defined our blank page here, but because we've actually added details to it since, we haven't really added a whole lot. What we've added is we've added in the meta tags, our meta content here. So I think the easiest thing to do is just to overwrite the blank page that we have here. So in order to do that, just file. This is our index page that we have open here. So file and save as. And we're just going to save it as blank.php. So, and yes, we want to overwrite that because we want our blank page. And again, you get this little pop-up again here asking us to remove the code, which we don't want to do. So we click no. So this is our blank page here. And all we want to do really is we want to remove the heading because we're not using that heading. So we leave it as just as a template. The image class article image, we want to take that out, even though we will be adding in the image class or the image as a class as the article image. So we're just going to delete everything inside of the paragraph tags here as well. And what we also want to do is we want to delete that portion of the title. So, and again, press return from in there. So that leaves us with, oh no, and we want to remove our YouTube as well, because that's something that we're not using. So we save that, and that leaves us with our little write content box, and because there's two paragraph tags in it, it's maintaining some height. So that's us set as a blank template. So if we just save that, and again save all, so that's our blank template. So we can continue on from here. So the next page we're going to do is we're going to start working on our About Us page. So obviously the first thing we need to do is we need to define our title. Now if you're using the title bar up here, you can click in it, but if you click out of it, it'll just disappear. So what you need to do is you need to press enter to apply the text. And if we scroll back up to our title bar here, or to our title tag here, you can see that the About Us portion has appeared after the remainder of the text. So that's that first thing done. The next thing we want to do then is we want to, now you can at this stage put in different meta details depending on the site you're doing. Your site may vary from page to page, so you want to make sure that your keywords and your description are descriptive of that. So you can change that and put in whatever you want to have different descriptions appearing for your different pages, but I'm just going to leave it for now because this site isn't going to be live. It's already live. So so the next thing we want to do is we want to change our header. So the header in this one is going to be just about Bertie's Pitch and Putt. So I'm just going to paste that in. And what I'm doing here is I actually have another screen. I have a multi-screen computer here, so what I have done is I have the page open on another screen, and I'm just copying and pasting it in just in case you're wondering where I'm getting this stuff from. So the first paragraph that we're going to put in, I'm just going to copy and paste it over. Really there's only one paragraph on this page because oh no, there's two, sorry. So what we're going to do is I'm going to paste that in there in between the paragraph tags. Now obviously you'll be typing out your own when you're adding in paragraphs, but this is just a very handy way just to show you how to manipulate. You know, you may have a client that sent you on content. So what you'll be doing is you'll be copying and pasting them in. And actually I need a third paragraph here. So in order to create, as I said, with Dreamweaver there's a few different ways to add in content. You can use the insert HTML and the standard tags your paragraph tags and what have you, or you can type them in. Or the other way you can do is use shortcuts, and for the paragraph it's Control Shift and P, or Command Shift and P on the Mac. I'm sure I don't use a Mac, so I'm not too familiar with them, but I'm sure you know the equivalent. So we have, as I said, we have a third paragraph in this, so I'm just going to copy and paste that in again. So that's our paragraph set out. Now I want to use a couple of images on this page as well, and one of them is an aerial image. So what I want to do is I want it to appear at the top of our page, but I want it to be the same as it was with our index page. And actually the first thing I think we'll do is I think we're going to save this as our About Us page. So I'm going to click Save As this time and not Save All, because if we click Save All, this will overwrite our blank.php, and it just means we'll have to start from scratch again with another blank page and delete everything out of it. So we're just going to call that about.php, and we click on Save. And I just, again, you get the option to remove. Always click No. Now I'm just going to make sure that that's what we called it, and it is about.php. So just make sure that whatever you call it, it corresponds to the name that you've given it. So I'm going to leave our blank page open and continue working on our About Us page. So I've opened up the navigation, so I'm going to go back into the source code, and what we have here now is we have our header, we have our paragraph text in, but we have no images. So the first image I want to put in is this one here. And again, it opens up my other screen, but this is the first image that I want to put in. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert the image into Dreamweaver. So we want to create a little space, and we open our images folder here, and it's called Aerial Picture, and as you can see it's sitting there. So what we do is we take this across, again drag it onto our page, and it's going to be an aerial picture. So we're giving it its alt tag, and click OK. If we refresh, the image appears between the header and the text. Now, as I said already, we've defined a class for article images that make all our images float to the right hand side and give a certain amount of padding on each side of it. So if we just go ahead in here and click right up next to the end of the image and space, and once you start to type in class, it appears, and it's a class of article image, which happens to be the first one in it. So if we refresh the page, it automatically slots into the text. And the article image, no matter what image we use, it'll automatically throw it over to the right hand side once we define it that it's a class of article image. And just expanding on that, what you can do here is you can, because we have an alt tag already in it, you can add in what's called a title tag. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add it in. So once you start to type it, it'll come up, and we'll put in the same title tag. And if we save that file, and we go save all this time, because we've actually defined that page as what it is. So what we want to do is we want to upload the aerial picture photograph, and we want to upload the about. And I'm not sure if we uploaded the nav the last time, but we'll go ahead and upload it this time. So you can select those three files by holding Control when you select them, and just the blue button uploads it onto the server. So we'll go back and we'll view it here. Now this is our home page, but I want to refresh it because the links may not actually work. So if we click on the About Us page this time, up comes the page about Bertie's Pitch and Putt, and there's our image within in the text, and there's the remainder of our paragraphs that we've added in. So what I want to do is I actually want to add in a second image onto this page, and I want to add in some information about the fees that are being charged. So if we go back to Dreamweaver again, and I want to add a second image here, but I want to add it. And just in terms of adding in images, you notice where this image is sitting. It's sitting within in the text. And what that does is, if you place your image just before the paragraph you want it to actually be contained in, that's where it'll show up. So if I wanted an image to appear here, which is the second paragraph, we'd put it in, we'd make a space between the first and the second paragraph and just paste it in there. That's where we put the next image. So the next image that I want to put in is this one here, Bertie cutting the fairways. So that's the next image I want to put in. So what we need to do is we do as we did before. We get Bertie cutting the fairways and we pull it across into our document, and we'll call it what it is. And click OK. Now again, we have to give this a class. So what we can do is we just copy that class down in there, copy that, and paste it in. And if we click refresh, in comes the image. Now what we didn't give it is we didn't give it a title. So we're going to add in just a title at the end here. And we'll basically call the title exactly what we gave the alt tag. So we copy that, and between the quotes we paste it. So file and save all. Now what we'll do is we're going to upload that and the about page. Select the two of those, and what I'll show you the title does is if we refresh this page here now, you'll see the second image will pop in, and there you have it. And what that title does, the alt tag is for screen readers, and the title is for, if you hover over the picture, it'll actually give a description of what the picture is. So that's what the title tag does, as you can see there, Bertie cutting the fairways. So that's what your title tag does within the image. And because we gave these two an image class, they're actually sitting within in the text. So, and there's one thing I notice here now, and I don't like what it's doing, is it's actually sitting slightly above the text. So what we'll do is we'll go back in and we'll manipulate that class in the CSS, and what we're going to do it this way here is we can add a property to it here. And no, I showed you this before. There are a few ways to manipulate the CSS. You can actually open it up along the bar here, and you can manipulate it through this. There's our article image class. You can go into the CSS styles pane over here on the right hand side, and if that's not visible, you can get them to show through the Windows and CSS styles. Just make sure that's ticked, and that'll show up on the right hand side. Or if it may be minimized like that, you may have it like that. What you can do is just maximize it. So what we want to do here is we can go in, if we double click on that, it brings up our box to manipulate the text, manipulate the rule. And what I want to do is I want to add in I want to put a margin on the top of it, and I want to put in maybe 5 pixels. So we'll do that, and we'll see if we click apply, the image comes down by 5 pixels. So if we save that, file and save all, and because we only changed the CSS that time, that's all we need to put up. So if we refresh the page then on the server, on the browser, our images are appearing lined up with the text. They're just a little bit neater. So we go to the About Us page, and there we have it. And I think maybe we could probably decrease. No, we can't. We won't decrease the padding on the bottom because it's showing up fine with that one. It's just on the next page. It's looking like there's a little bit too much, but that's fine. It's It's only cosmetic. It's no big deal. You can increase or decrease the padding on the bottom depending on how much room you want to have between the image and the text, or you can manipulate the line height CSS rule for the text if you want to make the lines appear closer together. But that's all I'm going to do with that for now. Now what I want to actually add in next is I want to add in fees section on this page. Now I want to give it a heading, but I'm not going to give it a heading 1. I'm going to give it a heading 2. And again, there's a few ways to do this using Dreamweaver. You can go to your layout tab and you can add in your text tab, and you can add in your heading 1, your heading 2 from here, or you can type it in, which would be this way, or the shortcut for that is Control and 2, and that's the shortcut for your heading 2. Control and 1 is heading 1, Control and 2 is heading 2, Control and 3 is heading 3, and so on. So what I want to put in for the heading 2 here is fees. 2 E's, not 2 S's. So if we click refresh, you'll notice here that the heading 1 is centered and the heading 2 is just showing up standard, and that's what I want. I want the heading 2 to stay tightly lined up against the left hand side, but what I do want to do with it is I want to underline it, and I want it to be not black. I want it to be the same color as the text. So if you look in our text here, the rule for our paragraph text, it's color code 333. Actually, we'll go to the heading 1. It's color code 333, Arial, Helvetica, sans serif. So what we want to do is we want to create a rule with those for our heading 2. So if you select inside the actual H2 there, and underneath the CSS tab, you'll see a little box like a piece of paper with a plus on it. If you click on that, and you get the option here for creating a rule. Now I want to be less specific with it, because you can be as specific as you want with it, but I really don't think there's no need to be defining to say that it's, what it's saying here is that it's contained within the wrapper, it's contained within content right, and content right content, and it's a H2. But I don't think there's any need to go that far. So all we need to do is we need to go down maybe to that, and actually we could probably just go down to H2 and click on OK. So what we wanted to do is, we're in type here, which is the first one that comes up, and our color was 333, so we select that. Our font family was Arial, Helvetica, sans serif. And what I wanted to do was I just wanted to add an underline to it. So if we select the underline here, and we click on apply, click on OK, and deselect the text, and there it is. It's the same color, the same font as the text that's on the page, and that makes the page look more uniform. So what we want to do then is we can go ahead and we can create another paragraph tag here, which is Control Shift and P, or you can type it in, whatever you feel like. And what I want to do here is I want to add in prices for 3 different items, and what they're going to be is, you're going to have a price for adults, you're going to have a price for children under 10, and you're going to have a price for the driving range buckets. So if we paste in our adults, and what we can do is we'll go ahead and we'll create maybe 2 more paragraph tags. That was an accident there. Create 2 more paragraph tags, and we'll copy in our content for those paragraphs. So that's our second. That's our second one. Sorry, wrong one. So place your cursor between the two P's and Control V, and we copy in the last one. And that's what I want to show up, but as you can see here, they're pretty bland looking. So what I want to do is I want to style just this in each of the lines, I want to make it bold. So in order to do that, because it's within a paragraph, we could give the paragraph a class, but what it'll do is it'll apply it to the entire line, everything contained within the paragraph. So what I want to do here is I just want to target the word adults. So in order to do that, we have to give it what's called a span. And what that span does is that's your opening span and that's your closing span tag. So what we're going to do is this span is saying that anything that's contained within the span tags you can give styles to. So if we can give it a class as well, but I think in this one we're just going to give it a style. So style is equal to, and we're just going to give it a font weight of bold, and that's it. So if we click refresh, and that bolds up the text for the adults portion of it. And what we can do is we can just copy that and we can apply it at the beginning of each of the paragraphs, just inside the paragraph tag, and at the end of it there we can go ahead and just close out the span tags and file and save all, and up pops our three little guys there. So if we upload that to the browser now, that should be our About Us page, pretty much ready to go. We forgot to upload the CSS, so I'm just going to upload the CSS as well, because we did apply styles to our heading 2 tag. So as you can see, we have our fees applied, and that's pretty much everything we have on the page sorted out. So in the remainder of the pages should be pretty much straightforward to do. Again, it's just going to be a matter of adding the text and some more images to it. And I'm just browsing through the site here and see was there anything else we wanted to add in. There is a video down on one of the pages, but I think we've already been through that process. We don't need to do that. So I think maybe in the next one what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll add in a Google Maps and maybe just a standard contact form, just one of the free to use ones, and I think that'll be the end of the tutorial. But for now we leave it at that, and I'll talk to you in the next tutorial. And please be sure to drop us a like and leave any comments or any criticisms, be they mild if possible, below, and we'll talk to you into the next one. Thanks, bye.